A reserve currency is a currency that is widely accepted for international transactions. Central banks around the world hold reserve currencies. They use them to settle international debts and to support the value of their own currency. The US dollar is the current leading reserve currency. It plays a vital role in global trade and finance. Imagine a world without a dominant reserve currency. Countries would need to exchange currencies frequently. This would be costly and inefficient. A reserve currency provides stability and predictability. This facilitates international trade and investment. The use of a reserve currency is like having a common language for trade. It simplifies transactions and reduces risks for businesses and investors operating globally. Therefore, a reserve currency is crucial for a healthy and efficient global economy. What makes a currency a global leader? Several factors contribute to a currency's rise to reserve status. First, the currency must be issued by a country with a large and stable economy. This provides confidence in the currency's value. Second, the currency should be freely traded on international markets with high liquidity. This means it's easy to buy and sell the currency in large volumes. Third, the issuing country must have a stable political system and sound economic policies. This ensures trust and confidence in the currency's long-term stability. Historically, dominant reserve currencies were often linked to empires and military power. The ability to influence global events and enforce contracts played a role in establishing dominance. However, in the modern era, economic factors and institutional strength are increasingly important. A strong and stable financial system, coupled with a transparent and well-regulated banking sector, is essential for maintaining a reserve currency's status. The journey of global reserve currencies takes us back to the 16th century. The Spanish real, later known as the Spanish dollar, emerged as a dominant currency. It was backed by the vast silver mines of the Spanish Empire in the Americas. The Spanish dollar's widespread use in Europe, Asia, and the Americas marked an early form of globalization. The discovery of massive silver deposits in Potosi, Bolivia, fueled the Spanish economy and its currency. The Spanish dollar, a silver coin, became a standard unit of account for international trade. Its uniformity and reliability made it a preferred medium of exchange across continents. The Spanish dollar's dominance lasted for centuries, facilitating the exchange of goods like spices, silk, and silver across vast distances. This era highlighted the close relationship between economic power, colonial influence, and the rise of a reserve currency. As the Spanish Empire declined, so did the dominance of the Spanish dollar. In the 17th century, the Dutch Republic, with its powerful trading companies and innovative financial systems, rose to prominence. The Dutch guilder, backed by Amsterdam's sophisticated banking system and the Netherlands' position as a global trade hub, became the leading reserve currency. The Dutch East India Company, one of the first multinational corporations, played a crucial role in the guilder's rise. The company's global trade network and financial transactions popularized the guilder across its areas of operation. The Amsterdam Exchange, established in 1602, became the world's first official stock exchange, further cementing the city's position as a financial powerhouse. The Dutch guilder's reign demonstrated the importance of financial innovation and a strong trading network in establishing a reserve currency. It marked a shift from a currency backed primarily by precious metals to one supported by a sophisticated financial system and a thriving mercantile economy. The 18th century witnessed the rise of the British Empire and its currency, the pound sterling. Britain's industrial revolution, naval power, and global trade dominance propelled sterling to the forefront of the international monetary system. The pound sterling's stability, backed by the Bank of England's credibility, and London's emergence as the world's leading financial centre, solidified its position as the preeminent reserve currency. The gold standard, adopted by Britain in the 19th century, further strengthened sterling's position. By pegging its currency to gold, Britain ensured stability and instilled confidence in international markets. The pound sterling's dominance facilitated global trade and investment, shaping the international monetary system until the early 20th century. Sterling's reign showcased the close relationship between political power, economic strength, and a stable financial system in maintaining a reserve currency's status. The British Empire's global reach and London's financial prowess ensured sterling's dominance for over a century. The First World War marked a turning point in the global balance of power. The United States emerged from the war as a major economic and military power. The dollar, backed by the country's growing industrial might and vast gold reserves, began to challenge sterling's dominance. The establishment of the Bretton Woods system in 1944 formally cemented the dollar's status as the leading reserve currency. Under this system, other currencies were pegged to the dollar, which was in turn pegged to gold. This arrangement fostered international trade and investment, ushering in a period of unprecedented global economic growth. The dollar's dominance continued even after the collapse of the Bretton Woods system in the early 1970s. The size and strength of the US economy, the liquidity of its financial markets, and the role of the dollar in international trade ensured its continued reign as the world's primary reserve currency. Despite its continued dominance, the US dollar has faced several challenges in recent decades. The rise of emerging economies, particularly China, has shifted the balance of economic power. The emergence of alternative reserve currencies, such as the euro, has also challenged the dollar's supremacy. The global financial crisis of 2008, triggered by a crisis in the US housing market, raised questions about the stability of the dollar-based monetary system. Concerns about US government debt, budget deficits, and inflationary pressures have further fueled doubts about the dollar's long-term prospects. The weaponization of the dollar through sanctions has also motivated some countries to seek alternatives, potentially undermining its global acceptance. The evolving geopolitical landscape and the emergence of new economic powers have created uncertainty about the future of the dollar as the dominant reserve currency. Several potential contenders could challenge or even replace the US dollar as the leading reserve currency in the coming decades. The euro, the currency of the Eurozone, stands as a prominent contender. Its large economic bloc and deep financial markets make it a viable alternative. China's renminbi, also known as the yuan, is another potential contender. China's economic ascent and its growing influence in global trade have fueled speculation about the renminbi's rise. However, China needs to implement further reforms such as greater exchange rate flexibility and capital account liberalization for the renminbi to achieve true global reserve currency status. Digital currencies such as Bitcoin and stablecoins have gained significant attention in recent years. While still in their early stages of development, digital currencies offer potential advantages such as faster transaction speeds and lower costs. However, their volatility and lack of regulation pose significant challenges to their widespread adoption as reserve currencies. The future of the global reserve currency system remains uncertain. The US dollar, despite its current challenges, is likely to remain a dominant force in the international monetary system for the foreseeable future. However, the emergence of new economic powers, the rise of alternative currencies, and the evolving geopolitical landscape suggest that we may be moving towards a more multipolar world. It is possible that no single currency will fully replace the US dollar as the world's primary reserve currency. Instead, we may see the emergence of a multipolar system with several major currencies sharing reserve currency status. This could lead to a more fragmented but potentially more stable international monetary system. The transition to a new monetary order is likely to be gradual and complex. It will be driven by a complex interplay of economic, political, and technological factors. The way forward requires international cooperation to ensure a smooth and stable transition to a new era in the global monetary system.